All right, today we are talking about two-dimensional arrays. Now, before we talk about that, let's do a brief recap on what arrays are in general. Arrays are a type of object that we use to store an ordered sequence of values, all of which are the same type. And we have two different ways that we can initialize them. We can either initialize them all to have a default value, or we can initialize them all, or initialize them to have values that we have chosen. But either way, we cannot change the size once they've been created. We can't add or remove elements. We can just change the contents. So that's arrays. And sometimes our programs require us to store a whole bunch of arrays that we might access in parallel. Let's say that we want to store student scores on various exams. So we have an array for every single exam, and then each entry in the arrays is going to correspond to a specific student. So we can see student 1's scores would be exam 1 at index 0, exam 2 at index 0, exam 3 at index 0, etc. So each student is going to correspond to a different index within the different arrays. Now, this solution works, but it's increasingly difficult to keep up as we have more exams, and it's really difficult to loop over a whole bunch of separate variables like this. We can't really just use the programmatic way to replace the names of our variable graphs in front. There's got to be a better way. Fortunately, there is. We can actually store all of this information in one variable, because one of the types of values that we can store in an array is another array. We can store arrays of arrays. And we call these 2D or two-dimensional arrays. Here's how we declare a 2D array. We have our type that we want to store in the arrays that are inside of our 2D array. And then we have those two square brackets, or two sets of square brackets. So that second set of square brackets is showing that we have an array of int arrays. Now, we can have our inside arrays be of whatever type we want. We can have a 2D string array. We can have a 2D array of rectangles. Whatever kind of thing we want to store, totally valid. So we just need those two sets of square brackets, one after the other. So it's not going to go inside, it's going to come directly after. Just like anytime we make a variable, we've given a name. And then on the right side, we are doing that same thing with the two sets of square brackets. And remember, we need to say how long each array is going to be. So each of these numbers is going to represent a different piece of the size of your 2D array. So that first number is going to define how many rows are in your 2D array. This is the number of arrays inside of the two-dimensional array. It's saying how many arrays we want. And the second number is going to define how many columns are in our 2D array, or rather, how many values are in each of the sub-arrays. So remember, we visualized an array as just kind of a sequence of numbers. We can visualize a 2D array as a grid of values. Here I have an int 2D array, but you could put whatever kind of thing you need in those boxes. So this 2 dimensions array would look like this. We have 4 rows, so we have 4 different rows of values, and we have 5 columns of values. So each of my rows, each of my arrays in my 2 dimensions array, each of those has 5 elements in it, giving us those 5 columns. So generally, when we're working with 2D arrays, we're going to want to have that nice rectangular shape where all of the rows have the same number of elements. And when we initialize in this way, that's always going to be true. So the other way we can initialize arrays we could do it with 2D arrays as well. We could say my 2D array equals an array. So we've got those curly brackets on the outside, and then inside each of our elements is another 2D array. Or sorry, not another 2D array, just another array. So we're going to separate our elements with commas, and then within those elements, we're going to have our elements separated by commas. Now, a slightly different way that we could write this in our code, if we want to lay it out a little bit more clearly, we can have our different rows each be on their own line, which makes it have that visual structure when we're looking at it in our code. So Java is totally okay with this. Remember, Java doesn't really care a lot about white space. All it really needs is that semicolon to know that the line is over, or to know that the declaration of our array is over. So this totally works, and it makes it a little bit easier to see how the shape of the 2D array looks. And you can see we have 4 arrays inside of my 2D array. So we've got 4 rows. Each of those rows has 3 elements. We have 3 columns. All make sense so far? Cool. Okay. So if we want to access a single element out of a 2D array, first we need to say which row we want to grab it out of. So let's say I make a single array called my row, because every element in my 2D array is a singular, or is an int array. So I make an int array called my row equaling my 2D array at index 2. So we remember indices. Index starts at 0, increases by 1 each time. So my array at row 2 is going to give me this array. And then from within that array, we can access a single value to get one element out of our 2D array. So we need to provide the column index for the value we want to access. Let's say I want my val to equal my row at index 1. So we've got our column indices, column number 1, and we look at where the row and column overlap, and that's at this position. So that 8 is going to be saved into my val. Now, if we don't want to make an entire variable for the row, we can do both of these steps. We can grab the row and the value in that row all at once. If we stack our square brackets back to back, we can consolidate all of that accessing into one line. So we're going to say my single value out of my 2D array is going to equal that 2D array at this row and this column. So row is our first number, column is our second number. Yeah? All right. So we can use this same exact notation to update values within the 2D array as well. So I can say my 2D array at row number 1, column number 0 is going to equal 8. So I find the location where those overlap. That's right here. And that's going to be updated to equal 8. So that works just like you'd expect it to. Now, it is possible to have a 2D list in which the rows have different lengths. I'm going to strongly recommend that you not do this because it makes it more difficult to use for loops to do it or to loop over it. But it's totally possible, totally allowed. But as we will learn tomorrow, next class, having arrays that aren't all uniform in length makes them a little more difficult to loop across them. So fortunately, the only way we can accomplish this is when we give our own values. If we initialize using those default values, like say I want an array with 4 rows and 5 columns, I'm always going to end up with that rectangular structure. It's not possible to end up with anything other than a rectangle when I use the default values. Now, I can hear all of you asking the exact same question right now. If we can store arrays within arrays, can we store arrays of arrays of arrays? Can we do a 3D array? Yes, you can. You are allowed to stack square brackets at the end. You can make arrays of arrays of arrays of arrays of arrays of arrays. You can go as long as you want. You can make as many stacks as you choose. However, this gets very, very confusing and super hard to conceptualize as soon as you go past 2 dimensions. 3 dimensions is a little bit easier. You can kind of imagine it as a cube. As soon as we go past 3 dimensions, it's all out the window. It's very hard to conceptualize what this array would even represent. So this is all just an interesting conceptual thing to know. You do not need to know this for the AP exam. 2D arrays, yes, you need for the AP exam. Nothing beyond that. It's just an interesting tidbit. Now, a couple of additional points that I didn't include in my slides. We can absolutely do this with array lists as well as with arrays. So if I want to make an array list of array lists, it's going to look, you would say, you want an array list, and the type that you're going to store is an array list of whatever type. Let's say I want to make an integer 2D array list. So you would just stack your triangle brackets to make an array list of array lists. Pretty easy. Now, if we go back to 2-dimensional regular arrays, let's say I initialize my array like this. If I want to update one of my rows altogether, I want to completely replace it, what we need to do is we would need to make a new array. So I would say int array, call it x equals 2, 3, 4. And then I could say 2D array index 0 equals x. I can overwrite an entire row with a new array whenever I want. For reasons that I'm not entirely sure of at the moment, we are not allowed to do this. Let me move some stuff. I'm not allowed to say my 2D array at index 0 equals this array. I'm not 100% sure why right now. I'm going to do some research and try and figure it out. But if you want to overwrite an entire row, you need to make a separate variable and then assign that variable to that row. All right. Any questions on 2D arrays, how they work, how to make them, how to access them, any of that fun stuff?
Can you go back to declaring or initializing or whatever?
This one?
Yeah, so then when you're declaring it, this isn't like the int part isn't literal then, right? Because if it was literal, then you'd be creating like you'd be specifying that you have integer array of length 4 and that you have 5 of those, right? But here you're actually making 4 of length 5.
Yes. Yeah, you would assume that it would be the other way, given how like proximity works, you would think that you have 5 of length 4, but this is the way that it is built into Java when you have a 2D array.
Right, and that's because when you access it, you're going to do it the other way around. So you like grab from when you specify the innermost, it'll be specifying the outermost array, right? But
your first value is always going to be your row. Your second value is always going to be your column.
right,
Even when you're accessing, you're going to access first a row, and then you're going to access a column.
right, and that's they make it like that so that when you're accessing, it's consistent. But when you're declaring here, shouldn't it like more literally be the other way around?
Yes, you would think so, but I'm not in charge of creating Java, so whoever was in charge decided to keep consistency with accessing rather than literal reading of it.
Okay.
So, good question. I don't know who made that decision or why, but that's the way that things are. All right, all clear? Cool. All righty.